early on with the first couple injuries, I was like, oh, like I need to get back. Like, but I think like my mom texted me like after this last injury, and like they know how hard it's been on me. But my mom was like, you know, you've taken so much time for everybody else. Like you have to take time for yourself now. So just trying to do that the best I can too.
Yeah. Nobody expected a simple sit-down between Caitlin Clark and Sue Bird to ignite a firestorm. One moment, they were talking hoops, sharing lighthearted anecdotes. The next, Caitlin casually dropped a response about her injury that had fans choking on their popcorn, sending the entire internet into a frenzy. Was it a calculated comeback hint? A genius mind game played on the entire league? Or was this the explosive start of basketball's next great plot twist? Whatever it was, the collective mind of the sports world melted down, and Sue Bird's face, captured in that singular moment, spoke volumes without uttering a single word. This wasn't just an interview, it was a cliffhanger, hinting at something absolutely unbelievable that Caitlin Clark dared to say out loud.
About something that I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said out loud. Do I believe Caitlin Clark said this? Yeah. Do I believe she's right? Yeah. I cannot believe Caitlin Clark said this out loud. I'm shocked. I am shocked that she said it out loud in the Sue Bird podcast. And she's 100% correct. She's played on a team with Natasha Howard, who, let's be real, gets in the way a lot.
The personal toll of this unprecedented situation quickly became clear. Early on, with the first couple of injuries, Caitlin herself admitted to feeling a desperate need to rush back, to rejoin the fray. But then came a pivotal moment, a text from her mom, who recognized the immense strain this period had put on her daughter. Her mom's words cut through the noise. You know, you've taken so much time for everybody else. Like, you have to take time for yourself now. It was a profound piece of advice, pushing Caitlin to reevaluate everything. This was her first real stint in injury jail, and you could tell she hated every second. Imagine being wired for constant competition, driven by an insatiable need to perform, and then suddenly being told to sit still and simply watch. That's like asking a Ferrari to take up knitting. And this wasn't just physical pain, it was an emotional journey, a challenge in itself, because she'd never truly dealt with injury before. It was a new, frustrating kind of pain she didn't understand. But the pain wasn't just physical, it was an emotional journey she never expected.
It has given me really good perspective on like what a lot of my teammates and people that teams I've been a part of, like certain people have had to go through. Like I've never been through anything like this. Like, and I think that's probably why it's been so hard, because like I've never really dealt with injury, and that's probably been a challenge in itself, because like when I first like was feeling pain, like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't know. I was like, am I just tight?
The injury saga itself played out like a high-stakes drama, a villain's relentless return. It all began with what sounded like a manageable inconvenience, a quadriceps strain. Fans collectively exhaled, thinking it would be a brief pause. But then, the script flipped. That strain teamed up with a groin injury, forming what could only be described as the Avengers of annoying setbacks. Just when the public, and presumably Caitlin herself, thought she might be in the clear, bam! Another groin injury struck. Because apparently, injuries in the WNBA have no chill, operating strictly on soap opera rules. Just when you believe a villain is gone for good, they inevitably reemerge in the season finale, more determined than ever. This timeline alone was wild, a cruel twist of fate for someone so unaccustomed to the sidelines. Yet, beyond the physical setbacks, there was a silent pressure building that could break anyone.
We have gotten a little bit of an update. A little bit of an update here from Chloe Peterson, who is probably the main journalist involved with the Indiana Fever. And realistically, this is not an ideal scenario for anyone, but it's an update. And look, to say that she doesn't have any extra information is wrong. She 1,000,000% has extra information.
That silent pressure wasn't just coming from her body, it radiated from the entire WNBA ecosystem. The league doesn't merely want her back, they need her back. The fans are clamoring for their fix of her iconic step-back threes and audacious logo shots. Sponsors, of course, are keenly aware that merchandise doesn't exactly fly off the shelves quite the same way without Clark dominating the court. Her brand right now is essentially its own mini economy, a powerhouse of viewership and commercial appeal. Even while injured, she's still a magnet for autographs, photographs, and forced smiles through the grind of recovery. But that isn't sustainable forever. Somewhere deep down, she's carrying the weight of knowing her absence isn't just a sports story, it's a front-page business headline. And that pressure cooker environment revealed even deeper, uncomfortable truths simmering beneath the surface.
Like the deep three, the logo three, as we know it today, like came when you got to college, got stronger, got to college. But you were like, but I always had a step back.
I did always have to step back.
So like, where does that come from? Like, were you mimicking? Did it just come naturally?
I think it just like kind of came naturally. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put my finger on. Honestly, I grew up like a basketball junkie. So I think like even if you're not like intentionally like watching and like paying attention, like
osmosis.
You're just like absorbing what you're consuming. And I think.
And this leads us to the elephant in the room, a topic whispered about but rarely confronted head on, the uncomfortable undercurrent of resentment and the revolution Caitlin Clark represents. The transcript highlighted this jarring dynamic. 64% of the WNBA is black, yet Caitlin Clark, a white woman, arrives on the scene and immediately, unequivocally, becomes the league's biggest star. Overnight, she transforms merchandise sales, viewership, and media attention. Suddenly, conversations about jealousy surface, manifesting sometimes into physical, inappropriate contact on the court. It's a harsh reality. The sentiment isn't necessarily personal hatred for Caitlin herself, but rather a frustration with what she symbolizes. Before her, many outstanding black female basketball players had dedicated their lives, honed their craft, and dominated the WNBA level. Yet they never received this kind of pervasive shine, this global spotlight. Then comes the golden goose, and she single-handedly wreaks havoc on the existing power dynamic. It's a difficult, complex truth, but one that undeniably impacts the narrative surrounding her. Amidst these complex dynamics, her recovery became a game of strategic silence and subtle hints.
I feel about Caitlin being out. A lot of people are looking forward to you two facing off for the first time.
Yeah, I hope she has a speedy recovery. I think player safety is most important, so making sure you're 100% before you step out on the floor could lead to worse things, so I'm glad she's taking care of her body. But there'll be plenty of matches for the future.
The public's desperate hunger for a comeback timeline was palpable. When is Caitlin Clark returning? Is she going to shock everyone by suddenly appearing in a uniform next week? Or is this going to be a long, drawn-out suspense fest? Caitlin's answer was a masterclass in strategic vagueness, so perfectly calculated you'd think she'd taken a masterclass in keeping the world guessing. No definitive date, no specifics, just enough breadcrumbs to make you think mid to late August, while simultaneously planting the tantalizing possibility of a sooner surprise. The Indiana Fever are clearly on the "we'd rather be safe than sorry" plan. They're playing the long game, understanding that rushing a star player back from a serious injury is the sport's equivalent of microwaving a steak. Sure, it's faster, but everyone, especially the team and the player herself, is going to regret it later. While the world speculated, Caitlin herself was redefining what athlete recovery could look like.
The organization do, and I'd say it's very much under, kept under wraps what's going on with Caitlin Clark. But let's take a listen right here.
As we start to answer some questions. First question comes from Krista, who asked this, and she follows up, to your knowledge, is Caitlin practicing with the team at all yet? And just in case anybody's listening to this only, Chloe, do you have any updates whatsoever on Caitlin Clark's health status?
The most I know is, what's already been reported in the sense of she's been running up and down full speed.
Her rehab days, as hinted, sounded like a revolving door of hope and frustration. Some days she's practically sprinting mentally, feeling like she's one good stretch away from being game ready. Other days, her body simply laughs in her face and declares, "Nice try, but you live here now." This challenging dichotomy led to what we can only describe as the cozy girl athlete aesthetic. Picture this: Disney movies like Moana on repeat, sipping calming tea, writing affirmations, deeply immersing herself in sports psychology sessions. And somewhere in the corner of this serene picture, a resistance band quietly waits, ready to absolutely ruin her mood. It's a unique blend of mental fortitude and self-care, a stark contrast to the grueling, relentless image of traditional athlete recovery. And through it all, a seasoned veteran was watching, subtly orchestrating the narrative.
Now, 64% of the WNBA is black. All right, Caitlin Clark comes in and is immediately the biggest star in the league. Immediately. And merchandising in every other way. Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical inappropriate conduct.
That seasoned veteran, Sue Bird, played her role in this unfolding drama like a master puppeteer. She sat there with the look of a woman holding state secrets, and clearly, she was loving every moment of it. From the very jump, Sue delivered those subtle, knowing smiles, the kind that silently declare, "I've been in this game long enough to know exactly how the sausage is made, but don't expect me to reveal the recipe." She never needed to dominate the conversation. Instead, she masterfully allowed Caitlin to lead the way, occasionally dropping in a perfectly timed nod or a single, raised eyebrow as if sprinkling the perfect seasoning on a carefully prepared dish. It was the absolute art of interviewing without ever actually grilling someone, a testament to her experience and understanding of the game's inner workings and the media circus surrounding it. This dynamic fueled a frenzy of speculation unlike anything the basketball world had seen.
People can say what they want, but there's not a player in the WNBA that impacts their team more than Caitlin Clark and has the responsibility that Caitlin Clark has for their team. When we talk about an engine, when we talk about passing, scoring, facilitating, gravity on the basketball court, when we talk about all these different things and all these different patterns, that the way that she plays and the way that she gets to her spots and her movement on the court, and she plays the game with a unique rhythm.
Indeed, Caitlin Clark's injury saga didn't just capture attention. It birthed a whole subculture of speculation, a phenomenon that feels eerily like March Madness had a baby with a conspiracy theory subreddit. You have the "she's secretly already healthy and just waiting for the perfect TV ratings moment" crowd. These are the dedicated few who are tracking her grocery store runs, meticulously cross-referencing the number of steps she takes from her car to her front door with projected recovery timelines. If she so much as picks up a gallon of milk without a wince, boom, instant YouTube breakdown video. Then, on the opposite end, you have the "she's done for the season" pessimists. These are the individuals who watched the interview and genuinely acted as if Caitlin was broadcasting from a hospital bed, hooked up to a life support machine. They freeze frame her every-minute movement, dissecting it. See that slight twitch? That's a definite sign she won't be back until 2026. These are the people who possess the uncanny ability to transform a simple sneeze into a multi-page press release. And caught right in the middle are the casual fans, the ones who clicked on the interview expecting nothing more than two legends having a friendly chat, only to leave feeling like they had just witnessed the basketball version of Inception. They are still, 2 weeks later, staring into space, wondering if Sue Bird's subtle smirk in Minute 7 truly meant early September, or perhaps, don't ask me until Christmas. The sheer intensity of this public microscope made even the simplest gestures monumental.
When Paige Becker says she doesn't think that her and Caitlin Clark play alike, she wasn't lying. She was telling the complete truth, because I see it more than ever right now. At first when Paige said this, I was like, she might be hating. But now that I'm actually seeing why she said it, she's just trying to save herself, to make people know that, hey, we are not the same.
It's almost comedic to imagine what's going on in the Indiana Fever's front office right now. They're probably watching the interview on a continuous loop in some dimly lit conference room, pausing every few seconds to passionately debate things like, does she sound 70% healed to you? Or is that just the studio lighting doing its trick? There's undoubtedly a meticulously crafted PowerPoint presentation somewhere titled Projected Return Windows Based on Eyebrow Movement, complete with 15 dedicated slides analyzing Sue Bird's reactions alone. It's a balancing act for them, managing the immense public demand and financial implications against the crucial need for her full recovery and player safety. The pressure to manage the narrative versus her actual recovery must be immense. But beneath all the noise, the core truth remained. Her return would be unlike anything witnessed before.
Got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happen to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc.
When Caitlin Clark comes back, she is not wired for quiet returns. When she touches the ball for the first possession, expect the crowd to go absolutely feral. Expect commentators to be furiously rehearsing their "she's back" lines, perfecting the dramatic pause. And expect Twitter to crash for at least 15 glorious minutes. Sue Bird knows this. She had that knowing little glint in her eye, the one that whispers, "I know exactly how this comeback is going to unfold, and all of you are going to lose your minds." She's been in that very position herself. She's watched the hype machine build, and she knows precisely how to ride it without letting it swallow you whole. Her playing style alone is an unstoppable force. People talk about her as an engine on the court. Her unique rhythm, her ability to facilitate, score, and create gravity around her. Her movement is unlike any woman in the game's history. To analyze her fully, you have to truly watch, to really know what you're seeing. Her comeback will be nothing short of a Marvel superhero arriving halfway through the fight, ready to turn the tide.
Slow and methodical when she needs to, especially in the half court, especially when she gets off the switch and want to attack the opposing player for the big man. Like she does little things on the basketball court that you have to really analyze, you have to really watch, you have to really know what you're seeing to really understand how different she is. We have never seen a woman in today's game or in history like Caitlin Clark. I know people want to say that she's the female version of Steph Curry, but to me, she doesn't even play like Stephen Curry because Stephen Curry, as great as he is, his best attribute is his shooting, but his second best attribute is his off-ball ability. Caitlin is a on-ball guard.
And here's the part nobody's quite ready to admit. The unexpected truth about this entire saga. Some people deep down actually like the mystery. Sure, they'll complain on Twitter about the agonizing lack of a firm date. They'll rant in the comments section that as fans, we deserve to know. But beneath that feigned outrage, they secretly revel in this limbo. This period of suspense, the endless speculation, it only builds the anticipation, creating a hunger that can only be satisfied by an epic, momentous return. One day, they'll be right. And when that day comes, this interview, this seemingly casual sit-down with Sue Bird, will feel like the pilot episode of an epic series that ended exactly the way every fan wanted it to. With the hero, Caitlin Clark, walking back onto the court, a knowing smile playing on her lips as if she knew the ending all along. And let's be honest, she probably did. This was the blueprint for a monumental reveal, setting the stage for an encore no one will forget.